Welcome to South Carolina Social Studies, and today we are going to be talking about the founding of Charleston. And this is an overview, so just pay attention and you should learn something. So, the colony of Carolina was granted to 8 loyal friends by King Charles II. He granted them a charter in 1663 to found South Carolina colony. So none of the Lord proprietors ever went to Carolina, so they never actually saw the land that they were given. Early efforts at colonization failed. Eventually, all of the proprietors lost interest in Carolina, except for one, Anthony Ashley Cooper. Carolina became a proprietary colony, so it was owned by those 8 friends. Okay, so just a little background. Charles I in 1629 awarded Sir Robert Heath a charter to settle the land south of Jamestown and all the way down to the Pacific, all the way over to the Pacific Ocean, I should say. They called it Carolina, which is Latin for Charles, and they changed it to honor his son Charles II to Carolina. In 1640s, the England was at civil war, so this is when Oliver Cromwell took over and Charles I was beheaded. His son went into exile and he was later restored to the throne and he became known as Charles II. So after he got his throne back, basically, he awarded his friends for being loyal to him. And he gave them the land, which we can see here, the land that became known as Carolina. So we see two lines here. There's the 1663 award and there's the 1665 award. Please notice that some of the places that were claimed by Carolina actually belonged to the Spanish. So if you can see down there under Georgia, there's the Carolina Charter of 1665, and that's actually touching and claiming Florida over into Alabama, and it's stretched from the Atlantic Ocean all the way to the Pacific Ocean. All right, so a little review. What is a proprietor? A proprietor is an owner or manager. What powers did the proprietors have? So these, again, are the people that, quote unquote, own the colony. They had the power to declare war and make peace, raise an army, create towns, collect taxes, and oversee trade. How did they plan to make their money? This should be reviewed from the reading the other day. They planned to make money by charging an annual rent, or a quit rent is what it was called. But they had a hard time getting the money from the people. All right, so the Lord proprietors wanted to attract settlers from successful colonies such as Barbados and Massachusetts. They had 2 attempts that failed in the Cape Fear River area, and that's up around North Carolina. So they tried to colonize early, but the 2 attempts failed. Captain William Hilton explored and helped give colonists an idea of what to expect, and Hilton Head is named for Captain Hilton. All right, so he spotted the area around Port Royal Sound near Santa Elena and Charles Fort, which was the Spanish and the French settlement, and he recommended that area. Okay, all right. Here is a picture of the 8 Lord proprietors who actually owned, quote unquote, owned the colony of Carolina. So if you look up there, you might see some names that might look familiar, like Anthony Ashley Cooper. There's George Monk. So if you think about Monk's Corner, there's William Berkeley and John Berkeley. You think about you have Berkeley County, and then there's John Colleton. Also think about Colleton County, and so on and so forth. Okay, so a lot of places were named after the Lord proprietors. Up next, we have a slide that contains the long voyage to Carolina. So in August of 1669 up until April 1670, they were making their way over to Carolina colony. So 100 settlers were recruited to go to South Carolina. They sailed on the ships named the Albemarle, the Port Royal, and the Carolina in late summer. That's in August. They stopped in Barbados. So if you look, you see that line, the dotted line. going from England over to Ireland and then down through the Atlantic Ocean over to Barbados. So Albemarle was destroyed in a storm in Barbados, and it was replaced with a new ship entitled the Three Brothers. If you look on the little tags, you should be able to see the little ships. So they picked up additional settlers and African slaves in Barbados. In Ireland, some passengers changed their mind, though, before they even got to Barbados, and they got off. So in Barbados, the three ships set sail in 1669. Again, their names were the Albemarle, the Port Royal, and the Carolina. And they stopped in Ireland and Barbados. Again, this is just review, so let me go back. So 3 ships set sail in 1669. The Albemarle, the Port Royal, and the Carolina. They stopped in Ireland first, and some people got off, and then they stopped in Barbados, and they picked up some African slaves and some other people. So the Albemarle in Barbados, it sank, and it was replaced by the Three Brothers. The Port Royal, which was the other ship, was shipwrecked in the Bahamas. The Three Brothers went off course to Virginia, so it ended up going to Virginia. Isn't that crazy? The Carolina made it to the Carolina coast. So the people that got off the Carolina, the settlers went to a piece of land between the Ashley and Cooper rivers. Remember Lord Anthony Ashley Cooper? So those rivers are named for him, Ashley and the Cooper River. They settled on Albemarle Point, and they established England's first permanent settlement in Carolina. They called it Charlestown. The Three Brothers finally made it to the Carolina colony, or to Charlestown, in May of 1670 before it was attacked by the Spanish. So it was a long voyage to get those people there. Again, it took from August 1669 up until April 1670 to actually establish Charlestown. All right, so the founding of Charlestown. It was settled in 1670. Again, it was named for King Charles I, and it was established across from the Ashley River, across the Ashley River from its current location. So they actually moved. And again, Charles II was restored to the English throne. He granted the chartered Carolina territory to 8 of his loyal friends, known as the Lord Proprietors, in 1663. But it was finally settled in 1670. So this is where we get Charlestown from.